All right, welcome everyone. This is an exciting first episode of a new podcast that I'm working on. Working title is Adept Reviews, and we'll talk a little bit about some of that in a moment. I have with me a good friend, Seth Pearson, who is a ritual master, guide, healer, and teacher in the Modern Mystery School. Thanks for being here, Seth.
I am honored to be here, Jake. Thank you for having me on this inaugural episode.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you could make it. Um, Again, for anyone listening that doesn't know me, my name is Jake Marco. I'm a ritual master and life activation practitioner, soon to be teacher in the Modern Mystery School. On this spiritual path, both Seth and I have gone through, various healings, initiations. The first initiation or, beginning of our journey was our Adept initiation, which is what inspired me to call this Adept Reviews. Um, and it's an interesting thing because I think the word adept, I actually looked it up. The etymology comes from the Latin achieved. We talk about it being very skilled when you are adept at something. Um, because it's also an initiation, I always think of that as I am skilled enough to do certain things and to move forward and to, get to know myself better. Um, Funny enough, Seth actually teaches the class where you become an adept initiate.
That's right.
Yeah. And so basically, the whole thesis here, Seth, is I really like watching movies, TV. Um, Actually, in the Modern Mystery School, we have, if you go on the international website, modernmysteryint.com, I believe, and there's a little community page that has movie recommendations for initiates and ritual masters, but of course, anyone can watch them. But there's lots of really good stuff on there, and I always love watching them because it's having, gone through these metaphysical teachings that we've had. Um, it sort of has given me like a very different lens on watching a lot of things. Like I watch The Matrix or I watch Star Wars. It's like, oh my God, I look at it so different after, having the metaphysical teachings that we've gotten and, that you can teach as well. And I love talking to people about it. And this idea was like, I just want to talk about these shows and talk about these movies, especially in some way like the ones that aren't even on the lists that we have, because there's so much good media out there, so many people making things to, touch people, give a message. And I think it'd be
Right.
cool as people who, walk this spiritual path of joy, peace, love, pointing out some really cool media examples that can say, hey, like this is promoting some really good things in the world. I want more people to think about this and see this through the lens of our eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I think the people want this. I think I think they're going to be intrigued. I think that those that are listening already are going, well, okay, where are we starting with this journey?
Yeah, well, that's a great question, Seth. Thank you. And for anyone that's wondering that, well, no longer shall you wonder. We're going to talk about K-pop Demon Hunters.
Pew, pew, pew. So good. Oh my gosh, the world loves this movie, Jake. They want to know. They want to
Yeah,
know. Tell me
yeah,
more about the metaphysical pieces behind this. Like, what do we see?
yeah. Well,
Oh my gosh.
it's interesting because I actually had held back from watching it for a while, but you watched it early on when it first became really popular, right?
Uh, I don't think I was. I think I was a relatively late bloomer. From my understanding, I think it came out around June or July, maybe even August, just sometime in the summer. I believe I watched it at the end of October. I think that's when I got into it. And there were rumblings, there were grumblings around people mentioning the movie. And uh the fact like I really enjoy animation, animated films, 2D, 3D, all the above. Um, and I mean, once someone said it was super good and that it was in this style that it turned out it was by the guy that did the new Spider-Man movies. I saw the first one of the two of those, and that was amazing too. That I was like, okay, there's probably something here. I'm curious.
Mm. Yeah, that is I didn't know that about I didn't even quite pick up on that animation style. Um I mean I knew it looked really cool. Um and I guess what's drew me in um when I started watching it because I tried listening to the music ahead of time. And funny enough, I couldn't get into it first. Then I watched it. I was like, "Oh my gosh, it was super cool, super fun." It was very fun to watch, which I think why so many people like it. I mean, I think a lot of things, especially targeted towards kids that are a little bit shorter. Um,
Mm.
but obviously, everyone can enjoy it. But like it means like kids can enjoy it as well because it's a little bit shorter. And they don't need as much attention span. But then it also makes it really easy to watch. Um, and then listening to it, I've been listening to it pretty much like every other time I'm in the car, I'm throwing on K-pop Demon Hunters.
Nice. That's so good.
And you hear it everywhere now. It's like on the radio. Golden is always playing. Every time I walk into a store that has the radio playing, it's Golden is always on.
That's so good. That's so
And
good.
I think it's interesting that it's sort of taken the world by storm, which is a very meta experience because that's kind of the whole point of what's happening in the story. It is connecting people through music. Um, and then seeing how much it's spoken to people in the world.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, there's so many relatable pieces to it. Just the fact of there's probably been I don't I have no idea, but I'm sure at some point for many people that someone falls in love with a boy band or a girl band or some sort of pop star, whether whatever era it is. And so that's like right off the bat, there's that type of relatability. And it's so cool that it's a movie that shows that because there's also kind of with pop stars, it could be scandals and stuff like that. And it's like, it's cool because this movie kind of shows both sides. It's like because there's
Hmm.
even like say conspiracy theories where like how a group comes together and stuff, and it's like, oh, the Saja boys are that exact thing. It's like, oh, that's the conspiracy, right? And then here's the
Yeah,
other side, the light side of the band that's like, oh, we do it for the fans, we do it because we love you, and like they're just trying to like always serve from that perspective. Um, just off the bat. Just off the bat. Yeah.
yeah. I know I like that a lot because it's I mean you can even look at Rumi who she's the main singer, right? Not the main singer, but like she's the protagonist.
Mm.
And you even look at her where throughout the movie you can see both her ability to create more peace and like power up, the Honmun, their big sort of shield protection. But then even with her words and her emotion, tear it down and like create more distress and disorder. Um, so I think it's an interesting allegory for both, the influence of humans, right? How much power we have to create light or dark, but also how much that can be amplified when um, or I guess the responsibility when you are speaking and so many people are listening, and
Right.
how much power you have to create either side.
Right. Absolutely. It's like what we're doing right now. Like what this podcast episode. It's like we're choosing to speak of the light of things. Like we have the opportunity to start saying negative things It's like hateful, like truly hateful things. It's like, no, we're sharing about the good, the joy of this piece of media, that just like with any piece of media has the that media can propagate positivity or negativity. And so we are doing our job of protecting the Han Moon
Exactly.
right now and affecting our part of the collective consciousness. And I just love that they like how they visualize that in the film of showing this like fabric.
Yes.
It's like what are we weaving into society as a whole?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
so good.
Yeah, no, I think you're so right. The visualization, the like the cosmic weave of it is there's actually one particular scene where I remember, I think this is like towards the end. It's like a after like the Saja boys I think are starting to like build up some power, and like the Honmun is kind of like collapsing a little bit. And I remember there's like the scene where their manager is like looking out and he was just like, "Oh man, this isn't great." And looking out the city, but then you see like through the eyes
Yeah.
of the the hunters that they are they see like the world burning, and it's like he doesn't see it. He might feel like, "Oh yeah, this isn't good," but then they see like the reality of like, no, no, there's things that we really need to address here.
Hmm. For sure. Yeah, and it's kind of like seeing a yeah, almost as an initiate. Oh, it's like a similar thing where the world, like someone could look out into the world and see like, oh, something that's not that great, or that is great. And like even an initiate will see a situation that is like, clear that's not great, but like see it differently, or even a positive situation, see it slightly differently and go, oh, that's kind of why there's more harmony going on in that moment.
Yeah,
And yeah.
exactly. I totally agree. I think that's for me as an initiate, that's what I've gotten a lot more of is more clarity on the like what's behind the veil. Like
Yeah.
it's very easy to look out and say like, hey, there's a lot of things that aren't working here, or there's some things that really are. And often the funny thing is like even before, like I definitely thought I was very confident about what I thought the problems were. Um, and I think as an initiate, it's a weird double-edged story where it's like not double-edged story, but like almost like a contradiction where almost feel like I have more clarity on like, okay, what's working in the situation, not working in the situation. Like more quickly, I'll see like this is why there's so much distress in my workplace, or this is why there's, that relationship isn't working. On the other hand, though, I think a lot of that clarity comes from the fact that I'm not as blindly confident.
Hmm. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, your discernment is definitely leveled up in so many different ways. That's and and the ability to also say like I don't, and I have an idea of what might be going on, and also who knows, like have being able to
Yes.
do that where there's so many opportunities in the world to say like, oh well, I know better.
Hmm.
It's totally fine to judge someone about this thing or that thing,
Yeah.
but
It's the power of I don't know.
yeah. And oh man, it's so good. If we bring that back to like the movie, even with Ruby. Also, those that have not watched it, this is definitely like going to be spoiler territory. So I
Oh
should say
yeah.
it at the beginning.
This is a
Um,
call to action too. Go watch it.
go watch it now.
And then come back here
Uh,
and listen.
yes. Uh, like Rumi has the opportunity of, say, when he meets what's the leader of the Saja Boys name? Do we know? Do we remember?
Genu.
Genu. She sees Genu for the first time, and like she could have, I mean, she did try to like swing at him and like take him down, I'm pretty sure. but she was like open-minded. She's at like other possibilities, and like that ultimately led to good things. And so there's even that part of like being open-minded, being like, okay, I have my kind of like foundational beliefs that are very important to me. I believe in there's a a kind of like a right and wrong thing to do in every scenario. And
Hmm.
there might be also another way, or a way to do something a little bit better. And that's what ultimately led to their relationship on both of their sides working out for the better.
It's so interesting. You actually brought up a point that kind of reminded me. This is something I think I kind of want to do on this podcast a little bit, is like relate this to other media as well. It's reminded me of Lord of the Rings a little bit, actually, believe it or not.
Nice.
Um, because like you're saying, she saw the possibility in Genu, despite, being distrustful of him. Um, but in the end, final spoiler warning, uh, in the end, he ends up sacrificing himself, which leads to them being able to win. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and this isn't the same, but in Lord of the Rings, right, the whole big thing is that both Frodo and Bilbo, gave mercy to Gollum,
Mm.
and then his sacrifice, even though he had sort of been corrupted and, warped by evil, he had, in the end, his sacrifice, despite his being accidental, and that's where I say the difference is there. Ends up being the winning day, but it was like the open to the possibility, and Gandalf even said like he might have some role to play yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's a cool crossover there. Mm-hmm. It's very true. And gosh, like when we go back to like more of Genu, oh
Uh,
man, there's just so many good things. It's like the aspect of even himself, he's like haunted by this choice that he made in the past. And it's so incredible, like such a great depiction of, especially specifically showing what shame, like how that can be played upon, and how negativity can like present these options. If you do something even more negative, or if you do something, I'll make this thing go away, this thing that you can't face, you can't forgive yourself for. It's like it's such a good example of like how showing like someone's learning that, gosh, like maybe they didn't do like the right thing, but they did their best, and it doesn't mean that they are deep down bad. Like I love that they show that even this guy
yeah,
that is like one of the demons, is like he's he's not bad deep down. And there's like they show the whole, I think, a good range of how that can show up, where it's like he's in on the dark side, but then Rumi is on the light, but she has still like this past where like her parents, there's some weird stuff that made it so she has some of the pattern that that means that there's, it's like, oh, she's not perfect, she's not fully of the light, or and that there's shame about that, or fear about that, or like uh she doesn't know if she can like transmute that. And it's so great because for so many people out in the world, there's something that that can be related to, where there's something that haunts someone if they haven't forgiven themselves about it, or they are led to believe that because of some sort of imperfection they're wrong, or need to feel bad about themselves. Yeah, I just think the way that they did that is just so good.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think you're touching on what I feel is like the biggest thing that in this whole movie is all about shame, right? That's like the biggest evil that they're overcoming right there in their journey. And yeah, it's so relevant. I mean, the amount of times I've been like talking this to people over the last, month since I watched the movie. I'm just like, you really like to, talk about it's like something they're ashamed of. I'm like, you should really talk, go watch this movie.
Right?
And I think like I think the crux of it for me and like why I even want to record something like this is, I think it's very easy to like look at these kinds of media and say, oh yeah, well, that's just some, idealized version of the world. But like you know, it's not really that I think people often look at it as like a childish thing, like, especially watching like a movie that's targeted towards kids or, is open for kids and that has like some simple ideas like, love wins over evil or like the power of friendship. Um, in this case, I think what I would argue is probably the power of vulnerability and service over shame, um, and friendship over hate. And people might say like, oh, that's really simple or naive. And I think there was a place in time where I believed that. And I think that's the biggest shift, right? As through the eyes of an initiate. It's like, no, 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 this is real. Like it is like the answer to these kinds of darknesses, like shame and the hate. From both my teachings from my teachers like Jordan Bain or Sovereign Obsessimus Dave or all of them is like there's that, but also in my life the experience. Yeah, no, no, no. The I can let go of shame through helping other people. I can, win over hate not by hating, but by creating more love, creating more friendship. I think there's actually a quote I wrote down here. Oh yeah, so I guess Guima is the name of the villain. I guess the big like
Oh, okay, got
the
it.
demon lord. Um,
Hmm.
and Genu said this quote. It said, "If I could defeat Guima, if I could defeat Guima, or sorry, if hate could defeat Guima, I would have done it a long time ago."
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. That's such a cool quote. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's like,
whoa.
yeah,
Hmm.
I think
It's
it's
like, guess what?
important
It
for
doesn't
people to take
work.
that serious. Yeah, I think it's important for
It,
people to take that seriously. Like,
yeah,
have fun with it,
absolutely.
but like, no, like, actually take those messages to heart.
Hmm.
How much different would the world be if people actually lived that way?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my goodness gracious. Woof.
It really is. I think our teachers will say this a lot of the time. My guide Jordan Bain up in Boston had said this to me once early on. 'Cause the path we work on is a hermetic path. Um, and he says like a hermetic life is a simple life, and it's
Yeah.
so true. It's like these things aren't really that complex. Um, there's something about like having a teacher who has the keys to hand down and he has the energy to share with you. Um, can sort of put up a mirror to your face and say, here's where you're messing up. That's really the difference that having like the lineage makes, and that's what makes the complicated simple, I think. We think it's so simple or so complicated, and then the teacher shows us the illusion of like, no, 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 it's not. It's actually
Hmm.
simple. You just have to do it.
Hmm. Nice. I love that. I love that. It's very true. I would say that my life, even though there are certain things that are like more complex, there's like a greater understanding that I have of things. And at the same time, yes, life is more simple. Because before there was, when there wasn't clarity, it's like trying to put a bunch of like weirdly shaped puzzle pieces together that it's like, okay, I can kind of see how things are supposed to be, but then how the heck do I share that with other people? That's, I can kind of help them get this much of the picture that's like hermetics. It's like this, boom, here's the picture, and gonna you're gonna start allowing it to be revealed. It'll reveal itself to you, and all these connection points will be made. And there's something to be built off of instead of weird puzzle shapes that those that aren't watching the video right now. My hands are they're warbling when I talk about the with life without hermetics. It's just it's yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk about one of the other themes that I felt like came up. So besides, obviously there's the big shame piece, right? There's a lot of like hiding, what happens when we hide, um, when we, bury our shame down sort of like in the subconscious. Um, it's like, well, it doesn't go away. I mean, I think that's even kind of what the Saja boys did at the very end was, when they had broken things down, it's like everyone's like insecurities started coming up, or their shame started coming up. And it's like that was all there, and now they're just bringing it up to the surface. And it's like, well, how do you beat that, right? If sort of shadow of the world is your internal shadow is telling you like, hey, you're so bad. Well, you bring up the thing that you're ashamed about. Like that's the thesis, right, of the movie, right? Is no, you actually need to face your wounds. Um,
Hmm.
in fact, another quote from the song "Free." "Free" is my favorite song, um, and it says, "We can't fix it if we never face it." Right? It's part of the chorus.
Yes. That's so good.
Yeah, yeah. Again, right? These are things are simple, but I think it's like it's good to have the reminder. Like, yeah, no, you can't face it, and like there's so much fear, right? I guess that's another piece that's caked in there. It's like, why don't you share it? Why don't you face it? What will other people think? Will they
Hmm.
abandon me? And it's sort of like the fear that's the self-fulfilling, right? That's how Rumi got ended up, getting abandoned, short-lived abandonment because she was so scared of telling her friends that actually could be used against her. They're on stage at the very end, and they have the demons that pretend to be her friends. Um, that was only possible because she had hid it from them. If she had been upfront with them, they wouldn't have that tool against her.
Totally. Yeah, very true. It's all out there. There's no power that can be drawn from it to be used against the individual.
Yeah. I think that's actually I heard somewhere that when you're interviewing for like a CIA or FBI or something like that, they'll like ask you like questions about your past and stuff like that, and things that I think they'll like look up and like see like things that you've done or whatever, and they don't like even if you I think it's like if you've done stuff that you're like is illegal, like they don't even necessarily care if you've done it. They care how it affects you. Like, can it be used against you? It's
Oh,
like
really? In CIA
I
interviews?
think so. I might have this wrong. I had there's a few acquaintances in college that were interested in working for some of those agencies, and it was something of like, yeah, no, like you did, like certain like drugs or stuff like legal stuff like that, or if you know you gotten into trouble or whatever, it was way more important that you could be upfront about it and talk about it and not be like, oh, I have this secret that I gotta hide because they don't want that to be used as leverage.
Hmm. Right. That's really smart. I love that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Then the person just goes, no. And there's
Yeah.
something. There's
Yeah. Yeah.
no, can't use it against me. Okay, well
Yeah.
we're gonna simulate a waterboarding experience. Here we go. Let's see how it goes.
Absolutely.
Surprise, it's part of the interview now.
Yeah. So what was your favorite song?
Oh my gosh, Golden, for sure. Oh my gosh, dude, every time I freaking listen to that song in the car, might not be every time, but if it's been a little while and that song is in the car, I will probably tear up. I will probably tear up. It's just, um, I mean, it's like, gosh, I mean, just the whole thing. It's like they're of like basically we're like born to be golden, like, um, like yeah, it says like, there's the line of it's like no truth, no lies. What have we got? I don't just the whole thing about yeah, just basically being destined for greatness if we create that destiny for ourselves. It's like it's available, and the uh striving for that and the all of the struggle to get to that and the overcoming of the struggle. It's just so good. It really hits me every time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I agree. Golden, I think, is my second favorite, right after Free. It's,
Mhm.
I mean, it's a great message. In fact, I think one of the things I will avoid listening to is Takedown, actually.
Oh, yeah, I mean it's the reason that they're like man, but this song like it's not like us. Like
Yeah.
this isn't how we really are.
Yeah. I feel like Golden's like the antithesis to um, Takedown. I mean, I know technically, I guess, I forgot the name of the other song, but like the one that they win with at the very end, I guess that's kind of like the anti in terms of like the plot.
Yeah. Mm. Um, gosh, what is it? Hold on, I can find it really quick.
You know, look it up.
Just real quick.
But I totally agree. I mean, I think what Golden does is right, it's talking about potential
Yeah.
and hope,
Yeah.
right? It's like gonna be golden. It's coming. It's the hope versus like the apathy, which I think is another sort of minor theme that came up. Like when you see it, at the end when they're going over to like the Sacha Boys final concert, and everyone has this sort of like gray look over their face. They're just like glazed over. It's all like they're not like necessarily excited to be there. Um,
Yeah.
it's so apathetic. I mean, even you see it with the other hunters. It's like they give up, and it's not like there's not even this feeling of loss. It's just well, all right. Um, like how much of that do we see in the world where people are like, well, this is just the way it is.
Hmm.
Um,
Right, yeah. A lot of apathy, a lot of hopelessness. There is this is what it sounds like. What it sounds like is the name.
this is what it sounds like.
This is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I think that's definitely in my top three as well.
Yep. Such a treat, such a
Yeah,
treat.
yeah. So I think what's interesting, one thing I want to talk about, the big idea. Um, so the big idea is this writing, I guess, storytelling tool that my storytelling teacher, Bobette Buster, taught me.
Hmm.
Um, she's an awesome woman, amazing storyteller. She teaches out in LA, and when I was Tufts, um, she had done an online like a it wasn't like an official course through Tufts, but it was like I didn't get credit for it, but it was a course that I took at the beginning of my time there when I was pursuing a scientific path, and it was storytelling for scientists and engineers. But she taught us all about, how these certain tools for telling stories. And one of them was the big idea. She said all great stories have a big idea. It's like the thread, the through line that throughout the whole film or story. And usually it's kind of like the lens, right? You tell the story with the plot, but the lens that you look at that plot through is the big idea. And
Yes.
usually you'll see it expressed at the beginning and the end. Um, so like if you finish a movie, sometimes I like to go back at the very end and watch the very first scene, or maybe sometimes like
Oh, yes.
maybe sometimes it's like a prologue scene, so I'll skip over, and that's kind of what I did here because I try to find like the match, like wait, was that the big idea? And it's not there every time, but I feel like it was kind of there this time. So the very end of the movie, they're going on. They had just finished their concerts. Um, everyone's doing well. They saved the world, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna take this 3 month break. Time to relax on the couch." Like, "Oh, I'm exhausted." And then they see a bunch of fans, and they're like, "You know what? I feel like that was enough rest. Like, 10 minutes or whatever it was. Let's get back to it." And then I go back to the beginning, the first song, right before the very first song. They're in the airplane. Um, they find out they're fighting the demons, and demons say like, "Hey, we're gonna eat your fans, or like eat the souls of your fans." And they're like, "Oh, you're gonna fight our fans? Well, now we gotta get serious." Song starts, they start fighting. Um, it's like, okay, got it. So it sounds like the big idea here. So I kind of hinted on this earlier. They're saying it's service. That's that's like the key that they're pointing out there. And like this is something, in a metaphysical sense, not something I would really teach, something we'd probably learn from our ritual master teacher, Sovereign of Sister Dave. But I imagine he might agree if he were to watch the movie. But what the movie is saying, and I tend to agree with what the movie is saying, is all right. Well, this big issue that we're pointing out throughout the whole movie is shame and apathy. How do you beat that? Well, it's by serving others. It- that's what gets you off the couch. Not wanting to spend your time on the couch for 3 months. That's what gets you, gets the fight started.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is a ever inspiring key right there. 100%. Like knowing that even if say the self is in a good place or not, that there are people to assist and to serve out there to help them reach greater potentials.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how much more energy does that give you when personally for myself, it was even something I talked about with one of my healers, like, when I was talking about, my hobbies. I said, I'll pick up a hobby and I'll do it for a little bit and then I'll get bored. And like I feel like I'm not like building any hobbies, any like strong skills, things like that. And healer Yoko, Yoko, was
Hmm.
wonderful, based out of New York City. Um, she was like, well, obviously, because you're doing hobbies for fun, for yourself. And at a certain point, becomes less interesting, or like if you're building a skill, it becomes harder. And how do you push through that when you get tired, when you don't want to, keep playing the drums, or you don't want to, keep working on a clay sculpture or whatever it is? It's doing it for someone else. Like there's a piece of me where I was like, oh, and, that doesn't feel right. Like I should be able to do it for myself. And she's like, yeah, no, it's good to have self-value and self-worth, but also, what's the point to it if you're not going to be helping someone else? Like how if we're not helping each other? Like she's like she essentially affirmed to me like, no, no, it's a good thing that you like it. That's just how it is. You're gonna feel more energized when you have other people to work for. Like I cook for other people way more readily than I'll cook for myself. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I'd like to cook for myself more, right? How much am I gonna love myself? But at the end of the day, I'd much rather cook for, five people coming over for a dinner party.
Mhm. Yeah, that's beautiful. And like it's cool because for them, their fans are like basically the world. And so they're doing it for everyone, which is awesome. It's like it's such a cool.
Hunters, you mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
I guess
they're just
Huntrix.
that big.
Yeah. And I think it's like a way that we can also do our work, right? We think about world, but the kind of stuff that we do, it's mostly, one on one, or, in some of your cases, one on five, one on six. Um, but it's like that's how we change the world. And that's how most of us change the world is, first working on ourselves, but a lot of working on ourselves comes from working through others or working with for others.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's it's funny because for us it's like it's one life activation at a time, one initiation at a time. There's even with the tools that I have available, it's like I'm more equipped to help literally anyone that actually wants to be helped and to have change in their life than I did before they were like. And there are many modalities out in the world that help specific people, but it's really cool to know something that can help anyone if they so choose.
Like the connection piece, the universality of it. Um, I mean, you see that in the movie as well, right? How much it works through everyone, kind of. Um, and I mean, I guess this is like the hard part, um, right? In the movie, they can, play one song and it reaches out to everyone. And this is even a question. I guess this is an I don't know moment that I'm playing with right now in my head is there's on the one hand, I think, okay, well, in reality, you need to, work differently with different individuals. It's not always going to be the one song that fits all that, brings
Mm,
us, together into light, into peace, into loving each other, into creating, our Shambhala on earth. Um, on the other hand, I'm like, or do we just not have the right one song yet? Is there, one song, so to speak?
nice.
So I don't know. I don't know the answer there. Something to ask one of our teachers or contemplate and meditate
It's a
on.
good question. It's like I something I think about is like, are people ready to hear that song? It's we might
Yeah,
have the right song, it just might not be they might not be ready for it. Might not be the
yeah.
right time for it.
But when they are, let them know this is what it sounds like.
Boom. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. And you know, if it starts at K-pop, so be it. It's gotta start somewhere. Someone inspired
So
by
to
that
me,
goes like, oh, there's a yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say to me, it's the fact that this became so popular. I think that's a good sign in my mind. Right, that a movie with such messages of like serving others, of the power of trusting your friends, having hope, how that wins over shame, hate, apathy, and how much that spoke to so many people. To me, that's a sign of I think people are more ready to hear that song than they have been in a while.
Agreed. Agreed. I just what popped into my mind just now is like Frozen was huge, still is, of course. Um, but like and like yeah, there's like good themes in that movie, but they're not as clear cut. They're not as like no, here is like right from wrong. Here is like I don't like yeah, it's like it's literally like I would say more impactful messages and yet it's even more popular. I mean, I don't know, like Frozen's huge, so I have no idea the
We should go
exact
and watch Frozen.
comparisons. Comparisons, yeah. Uh, though it's true. It's like oh, more than ever, people are ready to hear that song. I love that.
Yeah, that's funny. I was trying to think of like what were other popular movies throughout times, and I mean it's tough to. I mean, it's funny. It was popped in my head was like Transformers, which I don't know what the message of Transformers was besides like cool action.
I don't know either. I'm sure there's some
Uh,
relationship stuff because there was always like have a good relationship with your transformer, stuff like that.
oh,
But
yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah. I'm not sure either. Um, but I don't know. It's inspiring in my mind. And honestly, it took me a while to even watch the movie. I don't know why it took me so long, but I remember so many people were talking about it. I'm like, well, there's fact that so many people are talking about it, I think is really cool. Because I think there's a lot of
Definitely.
talk in the world. Like I do hear a lot of hate, a lot of people, wanting to take each other down and want to take down the other side, wanting to, or a lot of the apathy of like, well, this is just how it is. This is just the world. I'm just gonna give up to it. Um, a lot of people like seeing themselves as wrong, and I mean, you don't hear this, you don't see this in the world as much the shame piece of it, but that's kind of the point, right? There's so
Yeah.
much like over like, glamorization of not having any flaws. Uh, so to see so much of that in the world, and then see that this has become so popular, it was like really spoke to a lot of people. It was really exciting. Um,
Hmm.
'Cause it's almost become cool to like be apathetic and hateful.
Hmm. Right. Oh yeah, yeah. That's still a thing today.
Yeah,
The more like hateful thing is also sometimes like shown as like that's the kind thing to do. It's like no, I mean, I would say that being truly unkind and hateful is not a kind thing to do. Like I don't know if
yeah.
I know that's a hard thing maybe for people to hear, but
Uh,
that's
and especially when it's like when you're fighting for something that you believe is right, it's like
yeah.
the thing that you're fighting for might be right, but you can't fight for it through hate.
Hmm.
Like Genu said, if hate could defeat, insert whatever you're trying to defeat, it would have worked a long time ago.
That's right. That's right. Oh, and there I don't think we specifically talked about like her voice. like how there was the
Yeah.
stuckness, and like at least for me and say the last 8 years of my life, there's been a lot of focus and the people in my life, whether it's like I'm focusing on my voice, like speaking authentically, like being real, or like having needs and wants, or speaking up for what is right, what is the correct thing to do. And I love that they kind of showed that journey for Rumi as well. And again, like following with like, well, what are you speaking? Are you speaking something actually hateful? Are you speaking something that is unifying for people? And that was really great to see. That was done really well.
Yeah, I think it was, I'm trying to think like when her voice started to come back, I think was after she started talking about her shame, her
Yes.
patterns with Genu, and that's when she started to get it back a little bit. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, how does that apply to real life? And when you have the shame, the thing that you feel like is holding you back, and then you don't do anything with it, you just let it sit there. It's like, oh, you're doing the thing in reverse. You're like, when I get to this place, then the shame will go away. Then the pattern will go away. It's like, no, when you do the work to make the pattern go away, then you will get to the place. Then you will get to Shambhala. Then you will get to peace. Then you will have success. It's like
Hmm.
so many things in and particularly that around the shame, right? It was around like her patterns, like that it kept coming up of like I'm trying to do this in the opposite order, which I don't know about you, but for me that happens all the time on our path. It's like the misconception of when I get here, then I will do all of these things. I'll change my behavior. It's like, no, 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 it's the opposite. You need to change your behavior in order to get what you want.
Oh yeah. I still get tripped up by that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a wild concept.
Oh yeah. So it comes up all the time. Um, as someone who's, moving now, we talked about this a little bit offline. There were so many things that I kept saying, oh, I'll start working out after I move, and when I move, I'll have time to create this podcast and just start doing videos and all of that. And I decided, no, it's foolish. Let me start doing these things now. It doesn't need to be perfect. Um, as our teacher, Stubborn Obsessiveness Dave says, you're not perfect the way you are. And surprise, surprise, you're not gonna be.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. So time to grow and move on.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Stop trying to be perfect right now before you don't need to be perfect to take a step forward. You need to take a
Yeah,
step forward to be perfect.
that's right. That is right. This is what it
Awesome.
sounds like.
This is what it sounds like. Well, speaking of stepping forward, both of us, when we wanted to step forward, found some teachers that could help us along the path. Of course, anyone that's, in the New York area and wants to learn more about this path and stepping forward or wants some nice movie recommendations, you can reach out to me on my website. It's just link in the description. I'll also link Seth's work. Um, you can find me at jakemarco.com. And Seth, uh, people are up in I guess right now you're in New Hampshire, right? Uh,
That's right.
New England area, how can they find you? Because you do energy work, teaching, guide work.
That's right. Yes. So you can find me on loveamped.com. You can also text me or call me 971 570 1608. I would love to talk about anything that has to do with whatever's going on for you, and however I can help you with, especially tools from this lineage. I think any interest, I think there's a lot to be gained from taking a step into the unknown when it comes to um, metaphysical work. And highly recommend the life activation. Highly recommend the Empower Thyself initiation class. Gosh, things that I have learned, overcome, grown into thanks to these tools is unmatched. And I did so many things before I found the mystery school. And oh my gosh, it's great to have found something that where I've experienced multiple miracles. And with the theme of the movie of like releasing shame, I have released like especially like the energy of shame in ways that I would have never thought. It was just like, oh, it's just a literally just thought it was a part of me, not even for a specific like reason of like I did this thing and therefore I'm bad. I'm just like I literally think I just have this energy of shame that I don't know what to I don't know what to do about it. And then just one day did this healing called the full spirit activation and just poof, very miraculously. It's pretty cool. And all sorts of stuff happened like that. So please reach out. Be great.
I think I'm glad you shared that experience, and I'll just leave with this last piece as well. Of the release of shame, that is something that I experienced as well. And I think, well, when I got in this healing called the Celestial Code, my first one, with my guy Jordan, and we had talked about this idea of like shame is like guilt is like a I did something wrong, where shame is like a I am wrong. And I think you're right.
Yeah,
It's like it
totally.
doesn't even need to
Yes.
specifically be like a thing. It's just like there's something wrong about me.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad that you brought up that distinction. Yeah, because when I figure out like the aspect of like, oh, kind of like guilt is like, oh, I did something wrong. Shame is like, no, I am wrong. It's like it's like of course it could be tied to say doing something that someone's not proud of or whatever. But like, yeah, it's like just like by default, I am wrong. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I have a very similar experience where like literally things where I was just like, I don't think this feeling will ever go away. I had this truly felt the belief, like the apathy, right? I was like the resignment or resignation.
Yeah.
Jordan actually called me out once I said resignment. He's like, that's not a word. And I looked it up and it is a medieval word that means the same thing as resignation.
That's funny.
So I didn't text him to let him know that I was right, but I was like, we were both right.
Now he's gonna find out this podcast.
Yeah, if he listens, he'll find out. But when you resign, I resigns to, know, this will like it thing I might get numb to this feeling. I might be able to fill myself up with enough good experiences to not hold this shame being
Mm,
me. Um, and then to find out, through this celestial code that the first one I did was so powerful. And I was just shocked where it's like I simply don't feel this anymore.
yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. So nuts.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So I think we'll leave it at that from, sharing both of our cool experiences where we were able to, step closer to creating honmuns. And oh, we didn't even get to talk about the etymology that I wanted to talk about, but that's okay. Maybe another time we can revisit, maybe do a video essay or something like that on
Oh
all of
yeah,
those fun
totally.
topics. But I think we've talked about enough for today.
Awesome. Jake, thanks so much for having me on this inaugural episode once again.
Yeah, thank you very much. So thank you everyone for listening. This has been the inaugural episode of what I am now calling Adept Reviews. Seth, thank you for being here. And everyone, thank you for listening.
Stay golden.